Hi, it's Neva at timeforinvesting.com, and today I'm going to share with you a wholesale transaction that I closed recently, a couple months ago. And this one deal though had like a couple obstacles that just slowed the deal down and almost prevented us from closing. So I want to share it with you so that when these type of things come along your way, you're not surprised and you'll know how to handle it. So stay tuned. So let's get started. If you're one of my followers and you're part of the Time for Investing family, then you know my face looks like really full. So, or if you're my friend on Facebook, then you already know that I'm pregnant. I'm 6 months pregnant now, so my face is like really full and stuff. So that's why I haven't made videos in like, I think like 3 months or something, because I've just been exhausted and not feeling well. But I'm coming along good now, so I said let me get back making my videos, because I actually like really missed it, because actually you guys like really motivate me to keep going as well. So it's like it works two ways that we can motivate each other and keep going. So let's talk about this deal. So this deal was and also when you're pregnant, I don't know why it's like you just sound like you're out of breath or something. I don't know, probably because baby's sitting on your lungs, I think is what I hear. But so deal with that a little bit with me. But so this deal, it was the fifth property from the same seller. So definitely lesson learned there is follow up with people, and when you talk to them, ask them if they own, you know, other properties, so that you know after you may close one transaction, keep in touch with them. You never know, it could be a year later, 2 years later, they're ready to sell another house, and since they already know you and you've been a successful transaction or successful business person with them, you know, they'll trust you and want to do business with you again. So this is my fifth one with the same seller. And so the first obstacle that happened is that I actually put this one property under contract twice, because I had to cancel the first contract, which I have only done. That's only my second time doing that as long as I've been wholesaling. Something I really hate to do, but things just come up where you end up having to cancel your contract. And what happened with this one is, since this is a fifth property, I previously went to the property and had given an offer for that one, but he had decided, hey, I'm going to sell this other one. And then 6 months later, he's like, okay, I'll sell you this one too. So I already had all the documentation, and when I went online, like the, you know, the ARVs and things like that were like the same. So I offered the same amount, thinking, okay, you know, we're gonna close. But unfortunately, when I went to do my second inspection, the house was not in the condition of when I previously visited the property. Because what happened when he decided not to sell that one the first time, he put a tenant in, and that tenant just, you know, wasn't a tenant that, you know, took care of the place. There was like water damage and stuff, and the landlord is out of state, and the tenant had like never called him and said anything about like water leaks and things like that. So he didn't even know about those damages. And I took pictures and stuff and sent it to him, and he was kind of, you know, upset, like, what in the world, why didn't this guy call me so I could fix these, blah, blah, blah. So he was upset because I was saying, listen, I can't offer the same price because now it needs additional repairs on top of what I originally estimated. So I really hate to do that, and at the time he didn't want to accept the lower cost. He was like, forget it, you know, I'm just gonna, you know, repair it, sell it another time. So then maybe, I think that happened like I don't remember, but there was a couple months again between those offers and cancellations. So he calls me and he's like, I need to sell this property. I'm willing to take the lower price. I need to sell. I need to close in a couple days. You know, he was like, I really need you to pull this through because I really need the money. So then he went on to tell me that basically what had happened was he got into some trouble, something with some friends or something, and he got arrested, and he needed money to fulfill his bail. So he's like, evidently he kind of knew like the bondsman or something, and he told the bondsman, listen, I don't have all the money, but let me out or something, and I'm going to sell this property. You'll have your money in a couple days, blah, blah, blah. So he's like, look, let's just close. I'm done. You know, this tenant, all this stuff, your issue. You buy the property as is. I lower the price. So I said, okay. So I really thought, originally we were thinking, okay, we're going to close in 3 days. We're going to get you this money. This is going to be easy. This is the 5th property. We have all the documentation. The house is owned free and clear. We're not going to have any issues. Wrong. So the second thing that happens is after I do all that, I met the title company. We're like, oh yeah, we're closing in 3 days, getting this done. A lien comes up on this property, and we're like, what in the world? Because all his properties are owned free and clear. He doesn't have a mortgage on any of his units. So we were like, oh. And then the lien was like, oh, the bank that the lien was coming up against had gone out of business. And so it was just a mess. And then I think it was Chase or Capital One of these recent banks now that have merged, which they were shown as like the current owner of that, whoever had purchased, you know, when this other bank went out of business. So we send them all the documentation, and they come back, they're like, is he sure, is the owner sure that this is, they're like, is he sure that this loan is ours? Like, we don't see anything like this. Maybe another bank had purchased this loan when the other bank went out of business because we don't see anything. We're like, this isn't good. It's like, it's not good when the bank is like, we don't think we own this loan. And so the seller, you know, he's like, he's out of state, but you know, I'm talking to him every day. He's going through like every box in his house, every file, and he, you know, pulling out stuff, faxing stuff. The wife that you know, they faxing us everything like to show the loan is paid off, when it was paid off, blah blah blah. So 2 weeks of that, 2 weeks of going back and forth with the bank, sending in stuff before they were like, okay, we're gonna release the lien. And what I had to do, because I was like, remember, we were planning on closing in 3 days. At this point, the bondsman is on him like, where's my money? You said I was going to have my money in a couple days. So he's like really, really on me, like, what is going on? You know, this guy's on me for the money. And 2 weeks had passed. I think maybe like a week into it, the seller calls me like really stressed. He's like, listen, I gave him all the cash I had on hand. You know, I need you to give me an advancement. Let me just give him something so that he knows, you know, that this is legit, the money's coming. So I really thought about it, and I really won. This is the 5th transaction, and I usually don't do this. So I gave a $2,000 advance, which means that I paid him $2,000 before we closed on the property. And I had to really think about that. I was like, because one, the bail bond was threatening to arrest him since he hadn't received the rest of the bail. So if the seller gets arrested, no matter when the lien is released, whatever, if he's in jail, he cannot sign any of the closing documents. So this was gonna like completely kill my deal, and I just was like, you gotta be kidding me. And I'll tell you, my wholesale fee on this one was $20,000. So, you know, I really wanted to close because I really need my wholesale fee, right? I'm like, oh, come on, please. So I decided to give the advance. So what I did, I drew up an agreement, and I did an advance, sent him the $2,000. He gave it to the bondsman. You know, gave us a little time, but we're still like, geez, come on, because $2,000 was really not like a humongous portion of the bail. So, but you know, I couldn't give like a $20,000, $30,000 advance. I don't, you know, that really wouldn't be smart, because you know, I can't lose that money. If we don't close, then I'm never gonna get, you know, that money back. I could sue or whatever, but that turns into a whole other thing. So I'm really working to get to closing and get my money back. So we did that, and that brought us some time, and it ended up 2 weeks before the bank came back and finally said, okay, we're going to release the lien. So we get ready to close. I'm like, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. And then I, fax all the documents to them, email them out, just sign it. And originally, this property is owned by business. That's why he owns like a couple properties. It's he's an investor himself. So when the property is owned by a business, you at least here in Virginia, it's like with the SCC, they have like good. I think it's a good standing certificate if I remember correctly now. Just for like your corporation, the LLC or whatever, just saying that the business is in good standing. You get it like every year, you pay a fee. It's literally like, I think $12. It's not an expensive document. And so originally when I was looking through our old documents, I was like, oh, your good standing certificate has expired. We need a new one. And so originally the seller was like, oh, I'm going to drive down there and just go right to the office and get it as quickly as I can. But when this whole thing came up with the lien and they started searching for documents and the bills wanted and trying to do all that, he never went to the SCC office. And that's a lesson learned on me to really keep my checklist going during the entire process so that I can remind the seller, hey, did you do this? Did you do that? So that I can check things off, because I should have caught that before we were cleared to close, because that's 2 weeks we were waiting on the lien. So I should have caught that between that time, but I was so focused on getting the lien released, calling the bank every day, being on the phone, asking them what else I can fax. I never went back and checked on this stupid $12 certificate or whatever. So we get ready to close, and the title company's like, hey, we need that document. I'm like, oh. So I call the SCC or whatever, and they're like, oh, it's like a 12-day turnaround. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, because I'm like, we've already been delayed 2 weeks. I'm not waiting an additional 12 days to close. Because you'll find, when you get this close to closing, you just want to close. You don't want to keep, something just keeps coming, and you're like, every minute something's slowing it down. You're like, you got to keep like pushing and saying like, you're telling me 12 days, but I cannot accept 12 days. What are the other options that I have? So you have to like be the one pushing, because other people honestly don't care. Like, the title company, they have other transactions too. They may not, I don't think that any title company can push as hard as you can for your own deal, for your own transaction, for your own clients. Like, you have to really be the one pushing everyone and not accepting no. So, and do this calm. You can be calm and effective. You can be calm and, you're keeping on the process to keep the process going. So what I did, I called the SEC. I said, listen, what else can we do? We can't, 12 days is way too long. I don't have time to wait for you guys to do that. So he said, okay, you can get it. If they come here to the office and get it expired, you can get it in 2 days. I said, well, 2 days is too long too. But I called the seller. I said, listen, you need to drive there and beg them. Literally go there and beg them. Because, since he was the owner of the business, he's the only one that can do it. Go there and beg them for this document that you needed. So that's what he did. And I just kept the closing documents, the title company, everything going. I was like, come on, let's just keep working this, because it's literally, as soon as this letter gets here, everything is getting signed and I need money released and this deal closed. So that's what I did. I kept that going. And then like the morning of closing, literally while I was going through everything, I had literally just gotten off the phone with the agent from the cash buyer. So on his way there, and I was like, yeah, we're going. Literally, I get an email, because I use Ring Central. The fax just comes right through email, prompts me that I got a fax. I clicked on the fax, and lo and behold, thank you, Jesus, it was a fax from the SCC. They have faxed the document. So literally, when he went down there and begged them for that document, someone listened and he got through to someone, and so they faxed us the document immediately. I forwarded it to the title company and we were able to close. So I'm just telling you, things just come up, obstacles. The people that get to the closing table are not people that did not have obstacles in their transactions. They're people that came up with solutions to the obstacles that came up. So a lot of times I get emails and people are like, oh, this happened, that happened. And I'm like, you can't just give up. Like, I didn't give up. when I had to cancel the contract, I still kept in communication. I still sent follow-up email, and I ended up getting the property under contract again. When the seller didn't have money, and I did an advance payment of $2,000. So I was doing it when the title company told me, or the SEC telling me, oh, we're gonna wait 12 days for a document. I said, no, we cannot wait 12 days for a document. So you gotta, push and push and push, because that's what I do. I push until that money hits my account, okay? That's when I'm like, okay, we're done. So I just want to get that out to you, and just encourage you that when these things happen, to keep going. And you need someone, like I had my husband that was like, keep going, you're gonna get this closed, you're gonna get this closed. It's your fifth one with the same guy. Keep pushing. You need that, and we can do that for each other. But you gotta, even if you have to talk to yourself, talk and encourage yourself to keep going, because it can get very frustrating when things outside your control are like, slowing the deal down or trying to just completely kill it. So take care, and I'm feeling better, so I'll start up with the videos every week again. So stay tuned, and I'll see you next video. Bye bye.